about a little bit of troubleshooting. This is how to troubleshoot your Twilio numbers. If for some reason your Twilio number is showing as unregistered, even after your campaign is approved, okay? So here is a problem that we're noticing that a lot of people were having, okay? Is that people were noticing that numbers were still showing as unregistered and even text messages being blocked even after the campaign was approved. So let me actually kind of show you what I'm talking about here, okay? So if you were to go inside of your Twilio account, and let me get on the right image here. Okay, if you go inside of your Twilio account and you click on monitor and then you click on messaging, you see here like all of a sudden this is how you check if your messages are delivered or not. And you're seeing that they're undelivered for an unregistered number. And you're like, hey, what the mess? Like I got a verified, right? Like, so if you go here and you check your campaigns and you're like, dude, I still have a verified number. Like, why is this still happening to me? Okay. And so this is what's actually going on. Okay. And let me go back to my presentation here and it will all make sense. This is something that we recently got updated about from Twilio. Okay. Nope, don't download. I want to present. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and present. Okay. So again, that's what was happening. Okay. We were noticing that numbers were showing up as unregistered and blocked even after the campaign was approved. So this pretty much is happening because of 1 to 2 possible reasons that we've kind of pinpointed. Number one is like the campaign has been approved, but maybe it's still pending. And that's a typo, guys. It's pending the final registration. So there's a registration period, which means did your campaign get registered? But there's also a configuration period, which is a more technical side of it. Okay. So one part is, are you submitting and doing everything and following the rules for the registration for that registration to get approved? Once it gets approved, then there is the technical aspect of it, right? The behind the scenes technical aspect of now, okay, this is approved. This campaign is approved. Now let's match this campaign and configure it properly to the actual phone numbers that are connected to this account. And they do this via messaging service. It was called messaging services. And don't worry, I'll go back and show you what this means as well. So that's one reason. Or reason number 2 is when the campaign was created, the phone number was not assigned to a messaging service. That was the correct messaging service that is connected to the approved campaign. What that means is sometimes if your campaign gets rejected or deleted, right, and you have to resubmit a campaign, your phone numbers could be mapped to the wrong campaign, right? It can be pointing to or configured to the incorrect campaign and messaging service. Okay, so I'm going to give you a diagram of like to kind of show you the flow. So hopefully this makes a little sense, right? So when you actually come through and you create your registration, remember you created a business profile, then you create a brand, okay? And then you actually create that campaign where you are sending in sample messages and screenshots of your website and all that jazz, okay? So that's the process that you went through to actually submit that campaign. But what happens is inside of that campaign, you must link it to a messaging service. It's automatically linked to a messaging service, okay? By default, this messaging service pretty much just means, hey, I want to attach some phone numbers to this messaging service, this campaign messaging service. I want to attach some phone numbers to it. And then you want to tell them which specific phone numbers to assign to it. Okay. So you create the campaign. The create campaign by default there's a messaging service attached to it. If you don't take that extra step to say, hey, this messaging service is connected to phone numbers, and here are the phone numbers that I want to assign to it. That's what is happening. So the campaign is approved, but there's like nothing right here. Okay. And so what we have to do, the solution is to go through and actually assign the campaign. So here's what I mean. Let me make sure I'm not jumping ahead. Okay. So Here's what I mean. When you go into your campaigns here, so you go account and then you click on overview, and then there's another button that says A2P10DLC overview that comes up right here, and then you click on campaigns. Okay, that's how you get here. You're going to see a campaign SID, a campaign status, campaign use case, connected brand, and connected messaging service. And this is what we have to look at. So you're going to see a bunch of numbers and letters right here underneath it. And when you actually click on it, let me see if I can make this clickable. Just a second. Okay, so when you click on this connected messaging service, now I've already connected this service. Okay, so what you're going to see is it's going to say sender pool. Now, it might not say sender pool right now. If this is not connected, it's going to have a button that says add. And then when you select add, you want to select phone numbers, okay? And then underneath that, you will be able to assign specific phone numbers to it, okay? And so in this instance, it will show you what numbers are assigned to it. If there are no numbers assigned to it, that is the issue. And we need to assign the local phone numbers to the appropriate campaign, okay? And so that's what actually the issue is. That's what the solution is. And so let me go back here and present and let me tell you, let's see here. Let's go back to the presentation. Okay. And so once you set the configuration, okay, once we've mapped those numbers to the appropriate messaging, there is an additional 5 to 10 days to finish that actual configuration. So it's best to set your expectations, or if you're working with anyone, best to set those expectations that it will take an additional 10 days. Okay. Now, during that time, that means that local number, if you're using that local number, these text messages will still be blocked, even though the campaign is approved, because the configuration is not completed. So you want to double check. And if you're like, hey, I don't know what the exact status is, always double check the phone number status via the CSV file through Twilio. Okay. And so this is how you do that. When you go into Twilio, and then here, let me see. Let me go back. Hold on just a sec. Okay. So when you go into Twilio, you click on your information up here. And then when you click on that information, you'll get taken to this page. You want to click on view all numbers. Okay, so when you click on, this will show you all the numbers inside of this account. And so when you click on that, so when you click to view all of your numbers, what's going to happen is you'll be taken to this list. It shows all of your numbers here. And if it is mapped currently to a campaign, you'll see it here. But guys, this is deceptive, okay? That you can't really tell for sure if this is registered or not. We assume that this is registered, but what was happening again is that messaging service was not configured, okay? And so what you want to do is you want to come up here where it says request CSV file, because that is going to be the ultimate thing to do. So when you request a CSV file, you always want to generate a new report. If a CSV file was already requested ahead of time, this is the date and time right there. So you want to click generate a new report. And then look at the CSV file report. When you look at that report on the CSV file, when you look on the right-hand side, it'll show you the number and it'll show whether that phone number is registered. And so that's actually what you want to look at. You always want to reference that CSV file to see whether it's registered, whether it's pending registration, and whether it's unregistered. Okay. So that is it for this video. Hopefully this makes sense and it kind of gives you some steps to troubleshoot. And again, remember, if you have to go in and adjust that messaging service, remember, it's going to take 10 days. So what you want to do is document somewhere under your account, make some kind of task or reminder to say, hey, set a task in 10 days to double check the registration status and the configuration status of this phone number. So that is it for this video. Hopefully this helps troubleshoot this issue. Thanks so much.